Hello, you guys. I just figured I haven't been on my channel for a long time. I'm so comfortable with audios and I need to do better. So I really needed to do a public appearance. And this video is so random. I was sitting on my bed and I was like, I need to put up a video. And as I was thinking that, I had a completely different idea for this video. But then as I was thinking, God said, when it's hard to trust God. And I was like, oh, that topic is easy because I'm a pro at that. So the backstory of my story was God took me through a Job season where the unthinkable, the unimaginable happened to me. And after that, my trust for God was shot and it was shut down because I wasn't used to people speaking about God in this kind of way. I was used to people speaking about God from a prosperity standpoint, which is my fault. And I didn't realize that the danger of being exposed to prosperity teachers can hinder you from realizing who God is. You know, the God of Job, the God of Joseph, you know, these things. So it was hard for me to trust God during that season. It was so hard for me to see God's plan in the midst of pain. And when my natural eyes saw disaster and victimism, I was just so angry at God that I didn't want to trust his plan. And I know there's people out there that you are so scared right now. You are worrying, you are stressed out. You're like, God, where are you? Why would you let this happen to me? But God is saying, you have to trust what I'm doing. Because what you're doing is, you're looking at the situation from your natural eyes. But God is saying, take a step back and see it from my standpoint. Because whenever God takes from you, he's going to give you better. And while you are going through a really rough season, God is developing your character. It is so true what it says in James 1 that we don't rejoice because of the trial. We rejoice because of the character that is being developed. And as months went by, God told me, do you realize how strong you are? And I had to realize, wow, like it takes strength to go through what I go through. It takes strength to face ridicule. It takes strength for people to slander your name. And you know you're doing everything by the name of God. And they're accusing you and they're creating accusations about you. It takes strength to go through all of that. It really does. And also, it made me appreciate things. Because when something is taken from you, you appreciate it more. Did you guys know that there are a lot of millionaires who are birthed from foreclosures and bankruptcies and repossessions? Because when you lose something, you understand the value of it. So the people who had foreclosures and bankruptcies, they know how it feels to have something forced out of their hands. So now they're going to put themselves in position as to where that is never going to happen to them again. So God is helping you to realize that when I do take you to that next level, I need for you to understand what these items have done for you. And so when I give these items back to you, you know how to steward it correctly. So while we are in a season where we just can't understand God and we are so frustrated and we are so upset because his ways are not our ways and we prefer God to do it in a different way, God is saying, will you just trust what I'm doing? Will you just take your eyes off of reality right quick and surrender to me? And another thing is we tend to focus more on the problem than on Jesus. And that's where the problems come in. When we tend to focus on all the bad things happening and take our eyes off of God, that's where doubt and fear and worry and stress and depression and sadness and anger comes in. And so you have to resist those feelings and go to God. And another thing is, the devil is really going to try you. During your season of trials and hardships, the devil is going to speak so many disgusting things in your mind, and your mind might go to a place that is extremely dark that you cannot see light. But what you have to do is you have to resist the thought and it will leave. Just like in the Bible it says, resist the devil and he will leave. And it's the same thing with your thoughts. If you resist your thought, it will resist the attacks of the enemy, he has no choice but to leave. So when you get those negative thoughts, hold it captive, resist it, and it will leave. Don't allow the enemy any space to speak horrible things into your mind, into your situation, because we all know that God's words are pure and that he is truth. So if God says, I'm going to restore this area, if I'm going to restore your finances, if I'm going to restore your job, if I'm going to restore that relationship, you have to trust God, because God is yes and amen. If God spoke it out of his mouth, it's already done. God is in your future and he's in your present. It already manifested in the spiritual realm. So you have to trust God. But don't allow the enemy to tell you, oh, it's not going to happen. Do you see what's around you? How is God going to fix this? How? God took this away from you. Why would you trust him? So in a season where you cannot trace God, I understand your pain. I understand your frustrations. But the final thing I want to say is you really have to encourage yourself, just like it says in the Bible. You cannot get into a place of self-pity. You can't. I remember there were times where the devil would try to put a thought in my mind, and then I resisted that thought, and I said, no. God spoke life into my situation, so I'm not going to surrender and submit myself to what the devil is saying. You truly have to encourage yourself, because if you don't encourage yourself, this journey is going to seem longer than what it needs to be. So you have to learn, just like what David says, encourage yourself. Thank God in advance for what he is about to do, what he is doing, what he said is going to happen. And another thing is, you cannot expect it to happen in your way, because we tend to put God in this box and we expect it to happen in one way, the world's way. But God is saying, if you don't open up your eyes, you're going to miss me. Because while you're looking in this direction, God is coming from that direction. So you really have to learn how to surrender and say, God, okay, it's hard to trust you, but I let go of my ability to understand. Because it says, trust in the Lord with all of your heart and lean not into your own understanding. And in order for you to trust God, you have to let go of your ability to understand. So yes, this is very hard. Yes, I'm very sorry for everything that's happening to you. Yes, the unimaginable is going on right now. But God is saying, will you trust me? Even if you believe you can't trace me, can you still trust me? Even if the situation seems irreversible, will you trust me? Even if you think that God cannot move in your situation, will you trust me? That's all God is saying right now in this hour. Will you trust me? Will you trust me? Yes, it's hard, but will you trust me? Will you let go of your understanding, and will you just surrender to me? That's all God is saying. And I really hope that video helped you. And one last thing, while you are waiting for God to move, develop some good habits. Because when you're so busy working and focusing on the good habits, you don't have time for bad habits. You don't have time for negative thinking. So invest in your health, invest in your hair journey, invest in books, your mind, your soul. You know, it's nothing wrong with investing in yourself, but there is things you need to do in the meantime. So you might as well improve yourself while you are waiting. So wait well. Don't wait complaining. Don't wait frustrated. Now, you are not perfect. You will have those moments, but instead of complaining, pick up a good habit. Pick up a good hobby. So when you do it, then it's easier for you to become distracted, and it will be a lot easier for you to wait on God. So I hope you guys have a wonderful day. I hope you guys are safe. I pray protection over you guys, and I love you so much. And until next time. And I'm on here with my quarantine hair. That's why I look like this. I'm so sorry. But yeah, this message was so urgent. So God wanted to speak to someone, and whoever you are, I pray that this message has blessed you. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.